Ethereum today, for most use cases that people are trying to build on, is probably the best thing to use.
Ethereum has a decent chance of getting to 20,000.
Ethereum can be bigger than Bitcoin. Anthony Pompliano, this will happen to ETH. As Bitcoin continues its meteoric run, all eyes are now turned on Ethereum. Although Ethereum has managed to surpass Bitcoin in terms of node count, transaction count, and total transaction fees. But still, Ethereum's $200 billion market cap is far away from trillion-dollar Bitcoin network. So, the big question is, could ETH possibly overtake Bitcoin in market cap? Can ETH bring more liquidity and capital investments? And will ETH replace Bitcoin supremacy? Hey there, and welcome to Investing Few. Are you looking forward to Ethereum taking off? In today's video, I will break down what Anthony Pompliano predicts about Ethereum's future. If you want to know more, keep on watching till the end. Let's dive right into the video. Ethereum, a better performer than Bitcoin. If you look at the cryptocurrency market in early 2021, Bitcoin has a majority market dominance with a market cap of over $1.1 trillion. Ethereum trails behind in second place with $100+ billion. If this is the case, how can Ethereum surpass Bitcoin? Hedge fund Millionaire and Real Vision CEO Raoul says he wouldn't be surprised to see Ethereum's market cap grow to surpass that of Bitcoin in the long run.
I think there's a chance that Ethereum can have a larger market cap than Bitcoin.
In an interview with Anthony Pompliano on the Pomp podcast, the macro investor says that although he still prefers Bitcoin as a store of value, Ethereum has a lot of potential due to the sheer amount of human and monetary energy that's being poured into the platform. So when the same question was asked to Anthony Pompliano, he replied by saying that for now, Bitcoin stays the ultimate champion of the crypto space, but Ethereum also has the potential to come out as a top cryptocurrency, even better than Bitcoin.
I think Bitcoin will be the king. It's going to stay the king. It's got the branding. It's got the kind of name recognition. It's the focus of most of the institutions. Yes, sure, there are some people who will look at other things, but I think that the majority of the time and attention is going to Bitcoin. Maybe that changes in the future, but for now, that's definitely true. In terms of, kind of performance, the thing that Raoul and I were talking about that I think is important for people to understand is like market dynamics are true in every market, right? And so if you think of stocks, for example, if all stocks increase, the large caps usually increase at a smaller percentage than the small cap stocks, right? It's just that it takes less dollars to move on a percentage basis a small cap than a large cap. And so in crypto, that's the same thing. Now, that doesn't mean that you should run and go buy a bunch of, small cap type cryptocurrency.
Main focus should be on Bitcoin. Anthony highlights the importance of Bitcoin among other coins in the market and says that primary focus of all investors should be on Bitcoin as it sits on the cryptocurrency throne and there are very less chances that it will be replaced anytime soon.
In fact, the way that I think about it is I basically draw a Venn diagram. On one side, I put what is my confidence level in the success of this happening, right? And then on the other side, I put what is the return profile that I see from this asset. And so when I take those two things and I put them together, the thing that's in the middle where I have the highest degree of confidence it's going to work and also has an attractive return profile is Bitcoin. And so that's where I choose to focus majority of my time. I've made a couple of investments in companies that are building in other places, but for the most part, Bitcoin is my focus, and I tend to think that that's going to do just fine.
ETH is the best thing to use. Anthony Pompliano also highlighted that ETH is the best thing available, although it has a few shortcomings, and that is what stands between Ethereum and Bitcoin. He believes that there will be a time when Ether will print money, and whatever the case in future may be, he has invested in both Bitcoin as well as Ethereum so that he is secure in the future in case ETH replaces Bitcoin as the top currency in market cap.
Ethereum today, for most use cases that people are trying to build on, is probably the best thing to use, right? So we tend to think that a lot of the work that's happening on Ethereum, it ends up being R&D, right? So if you look at pretty much everything that's built on the DeFi side on Ethereum, in the grand scheme of the world, it doesn't matter. Like, it's so small that it doesn't matter. And by the way, like, Bitcoin as a currency doesn't matter in the grand scheme of the global financial system either, right? So it's not a knock against Ethereum. It's just the law of numbers. It's just the way to look at the size. And so what has to happen here is one of two things are going to occur. Either people are going to continue to build much more usability, better user experiences, all of that kind of stuff into decentralized finance applications that are built on top of Ethereum, or that is going to happen using Bitcoin as the core function of money, right? And I wrote this post one time where I drew kind of two different diagrams. On one side, I said you have decentralized money. It's provably a store of value. It's provably a medium of exchange. It's got sound money principles. That's Bitcoin. All of the infrastructure historically around Bitcoin, though, has been centralized. Right? If you look at all the exchanges, if you look at all the custody providers, like all of that stuff has been very centralized. So you got a decentralized money with a centralized infrastructure around it. On the other side of kind of the court, if you will, in the competition, is you have decentralized infrastructure. This is all the DeFi stuff that we're talking about. But you have money that actually isn't money, right? ETH is money is not true. It's just a fiat currency. And again, people may use it to exchange value, but ultimately it will succumb to the same thing that every other fiat currency has, right? If you can print money, you will do it, right? And so mark my words, Ether will eventually print money at some point because that's what they're financially incentivized to do. So you get one of two things. Either you bring Bitcoin over and you have it kind of operate in the DeFi infrastructure that exists today. That's things like wrapped Bitcoin, TBTC, all that, those types of efforts. Or you bring the decentralized infrastructure over to Bitcoin, right? Now, there's some technical challenges with doing that, right? That's why Ethereum ultimately and Vitalik created Ethereum. But we do think that that's what's going to happen is that latter example, right? You're going to see decentralized infrastructure built around Bitcoin. We've made a couple of investments there. I don't think that that's going to happen in the next 1 to 3 years in terms of like a mainstream mass adopted product. I do think, though, over the next 20 years, that's where you're going to see a lot of the value accrue. We could be wrong on it, but if we're wrong, the way that we think about it is we're not wrong in the sense of Bitcoin isn't money. It's just that Bitcoin will then be wrapped or somehow brought over to the DeFi infrastructure, right? So we've actually made investments on both sides. And the way that we look at it is we're going to be wrong on one of the bets. The one that ends up being right is going to more than pay for the one that we're wrong on. Right? I have my own personal opinion, but we're not stupid, right? As a capital allocator, we're going to bet on both and see what happens. And net basis will end up making money. But I personally think that the infrastructure around Bitcoin will become decentralized over time.
Ethereum's perceived threat to Bitcoin is not a simple comparison of relative worth then. There are essential differences to what each does, and as the market continues to mature, the value of both Bitcoin and Ether will be driven by new factors to those that currently exist. In recent times, we have seen this happen with the market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies and how they fluctuate on a day-to-day basis. All we can do is to wait and see if there will be a time in the future when Ethereum will ultimately replace Bitcoin as top cryptocurrency in terms of market cap in the world. So, just wait and watch together what the future holds for Ethereum. And with that, we come to the end of today's video. What do you think about the future of ETH? Will it ever replace Bitcoin or not? Tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching.